and we want to make a call out to Windows. So again, we'll go into the properties, the events, and on the click event for the button, we want to add another program. So again, we'll put some comments about what our program does. In this instance, we're going to use declare function utility, because this is a utility that's built into OpenInsight. So a lot of the work is already done for us. And I don't really understand this code, so I'm just going to type it from a sheet, which is cf opt equals null, cf opt 1 equals 0 semicolon star open mode. And then we put the type of files that we are going to support, so JPEGs, and then get bmp file equals, and we call the utility. And then we set the property. Now, I can't actually write that code, but there's blocks of this code that's readily available all over the works area on revelation.com, in the help files, in the example applications. And what I tend to do is just drop this in, play around with it, get it so it's how I like it. So I can manipulate code, but I can't actually write the code. But once that's done, we'll just click the check syntax button again. Our syntax is correct, so we can come out of there. Yes, we want to update it. We'll OK to the button, OK that, and we'll rename it to btn underscore folder. And then hopefully all we need to do is to launch the button, actual tables. Yes, we'll save our changes. And if we just go into, let's say record number 1, and we click on the button, that will take us out to our Explorer. I'll navigate to where I've got my images. People. Now, the options that we defined were JPEG, all, and bitmap. So let's just go for all at the moment. We'll grab number 1, add a file, and we'll save the row. We're going to number 2, which doesn't have an image. So we haven't got anything in our edit line. So our code is picking up this path and replacing the image for us. And if I go into number 1, then that returns back our image. Now you notice that when I did a file and a save row, it cleared the form. That's part of OpenInsight. It will clear the form for you, but it hasn't cleared the image. So this is what I was saying earlier on. I would now need to have that on the save event where the form is cleared as well, that same piece of code. This is where you're doubling up. If you've got the code in a commuter routine, then you can just have those two events pointing to that single piece of code, and it makes life a lot easier. Before we finish, I should point out that there are other ways of working with images, and there is a failing in the method that I've used here. For instance, if this path was to change for any reason, so let's say somebody was to change the folder name, change the location where OpenInsight was installed. If this was installed on a server on the network, if that server name was to change, then you would break this link to the image. So the path would still stay the same in the database, but it wouldn't find the image to display. Now there are a couple of ways to get around this, and the best one is to actually embed the graphic in OpenInsight. It's a little bit too advanced for me, but you can break this graphic into ones and zeros and actually have that in the linear hash database in OpenInsight's native tables. And that way you can be sure that you'll always be able to find the image when you want it. It also means it's going to be backed up, it's all contained in one area, but obviously it is going to swell your database, so there are pros and cons as to which method you want to use. I've used a simple method, but just bear in mind, if that path changes, you're going to lose your graphic. That's it for this lesson, so thank you for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you next time when we're going to be looking at creating a form menu. Take care, bye bye.